Hi, everybody, and welcome to Charger 360, the official video podcast of the University of New Haven. I'm J.W. Stewart, along with Bruce Barber. Bruce, how you doing today?
Doing so well, J-Dub.
So, Bruce, I thought I had a surprise for you on this episode, but it turns out that is not the case.
No.
You had before we started rolling, you had a flashback of sorts. Would you like to tell us the story?
Yes, so our football coach looked very familiar to me. And then I saw from J-Dub's notes related to the legendary Carm Cozza. And then I go, wait a minute, Pawgasset Club? And Coach, you said we played tennis together.
Yeah, we've had many matches.
Who won?
Definitely not me.
No, definitely not me. Trust me.
So we welcome to the show Mark Powell, the new football coach at the University of New Haven, and Matt Chandler, junior wide receiver and one of the captains on the team. Gentlemen, welcome aboard. Good to have you here on the show.
Thank you for having us.
So in addition to knowing Bruce, which was pretty amazing in and of itself, Matt and I were just kind of sitting here like watching tennis, kind of sort of like back and forth and back and forth. So Mark, your family's history does run very deep here in New Haven and West Haven. Aside from knowing Bruce and playing tennis, tell us the story of your family's history here and how it led to you to come back to the University of New Haven.
So I grew up here. So my high school literally was across the street at Notre Dame West Haven. So I went to Amity Middle School, then went to Notre Dame West Haven. Grew up here on the sidelines of Yale. My grandfather was the head coach there from 64 to 96. A long time, won 10 Ivy League titles. So grew up going to the bowl, and when they were away, I was at New Haven football games. So really grew up here, local kid. I was born at Yale New Haven Hospital, and then grew up in Orange. All roads lead to New Haven. So was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to come back here and do what I love, where I'm from, and it's been a blast.
Wow, so lucky to have you. And Matt, tell us about your road to the University of New Haven.
Yes, sir. I mean, it was definitely a rocky one. Obviously, I had some stuff that I went through in high school injury-wise and then playing time-wise and whatnot, but ended up going to the same prep school as my brother did, East Coast Prep, and then he kind of set, I guess, the pipeline to come to New Haven, and I kind of followed that. Obviously, he just kind of talked to me about how great of a place it is and how special. I mean, just like Coach just talked about the tradition of here, it's just a great place to be. So that's how I kind of ended up here.
And Matt, last year you actually caught a pass from your brother.
Yes, sir.
In the last home game, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir.
What was that like for you guys as brothers and your family who was in attendance?
It was great. Honestly, it definitely should have happened a lot earlier. But there's, as you know, with football, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. Maybe like the couple games he was starting, I really wasn't getting much playing time, and then the games that I was playing a lot, he wasn't playing in. So it was, and then certain coverages dictate the play sometimes. But when we got it, it was a great moment for the both of us, and I'm sure my parents love seeing that. So it's it's stuff you kind of dream about.
This is kind of like every time I watch the movie Brian's Song, Bruce is tearing up. That's incredible. Now, Coach, tell us about your college career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I went to Lafayette College. I had 4 shoulder surgeries over 3 years, so never got to really get going as a player there, and then got medically retired right before my senior season and became a student assistant. And the rest is kind of history. Asked my grandfather about college coaching. He said, "You're crazy." And then was able to have a great mentor in John Luce, who was my defensive coordinator at Lafayette. Put me under his wing with a bunch of other guys on that defensive side of the ball. And then I started my career at Yale 2014 as a coach, as an intern. And that was my college career as far as football goes.
Once your grandfather got over the shock of what you wanted to do and continuing the family tradition, what valuable advice did he have for you that's helped you even to this day?
Relationships are, key. And when I first got into coaching, he told me keep my head down, my mouth shut, my feet moving. That was his thing. Just go to work every single day, continue to grow as a coach, and just make sure the players know that you care. My grandfather was all of his, he had 4 of his former players came to our first home game, and just it's a family atmosphere, right? Being able to have the kids know that I'm not just coach, I'm also a dad. My kids come to every practice, and that was a big thing that my grandfather instilled in me. Just it's a family thing, because you spend so many hours together, and you got to know the bigger picture of all this is to make them the best version of themselves, and that's what my grandfather instilled in me.
So I'm interested, Matt, you played D2 ball last year and now D1. What's the difference?
I mean, I would say there's a lot of differences, but at the end of the day, it's just football. So I think just going out there every time, I mean, it's not, you're playing the same game you've always played. You know what I mean? And me personally, I know everyone else feels like we've been a D1 level for the recent years that we've been playing, or for a while now. So I feel like to us, it's just really about proving everybody right or wrong and thinking, you know what I mean, we're going out there to compete at the end of the day. So, yeah.
It's an interesting point, right? We make this transition, and then we make the transition late, May, June, right? And which is ridiculous, crazy in the college football calendar. Yeah, here we are. We were talking in your office the other day, Coach. What were those days like for you, where you had to tear up a Division II schedule and try to put together a Division I schedule?
Chaos. As I continue to use that word a lot. So, organized chaos. The first thing I wanted to do was make sure the guys were okay. And then after that, I wanted to get some normalcy, right? And, Devin Crosby and I spent a lot of late nights in his office calling people that we knew. And it was all about people. That was the biggest thing, was calling people that I've known throughout my career. Like Mike at Marist, like they weren't open week 0, but I called Mike. I said, hey, you got to play us, like help us out. And, they were able to make that work. And Coach Schmidt, I recruited Pittsburgh when I was at Villanova. So then we called Duquesne, and the NEC has been extremely welcoming. And a lot of those coaches were awesome with it. And then President Frederickson did an unbelievable job using his network within presidencies as well to help us out. So organized chaos, as I will say, those 14 days were long nights.
Now, Matt, one of the things I think that's so awesome about what you're doing, playing at the level you're playing at, is I just have, as a gentleman's C student at Hobart, I'm amazed at student athletes, right? The commitment you have to make to football, and then in the classroom. So talk about how you navigate that. What are you studying? What are you majoring in? And how do you find that balance?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. But I'm studying exercise science, so definitely got some science classes that require a lot of attention. But football at the end of the day is almost like another couple classes to your workload, at least with the way I study the game and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's definitely a handful, but I think it's all about managing your time and, doing something every day to get better, because you're not game planning or studying the plays until Thursday or Friday. Then you're cramming those days. You know what I mean? I think it's about the right balance every day between studying and then also studying football.
Let me give you a little tip. Just keep it in the back of your mind. I teach independent studies in broadcasting and podcasting, and I haven't given a B. Just saying.
Might have to switch over.
Yeah. Communication, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes, that was my major too. It was pretty easy. I would agree. Exercise science, what do you want to do when you graduate, Matt?
I'm still debating between a few things, but could go into either like physical therapy or maybe the strength and conditioning route with that.
We were talking earlier, right? Kind of being in your brother's shadow to a degree, right? Jack was a backup quarterback here, and you guys were in prep school together. What's it like now that he's not here?
It's definitely interesting. I mean, there's good and bad. I feel like obviously I miss him, and that's my best friend. But at the end of the day, I think part of it is you kind of needed him to leave a little bit to flourish into myself, especially as like a leader and stuff like that. Because, it's natural. Anytime it's your brother, you're always going to be around him the most. Not to say you're not friends with the other guys, but you're definitely mostly friends with him first. You know what I mean? But now it's good. I feel like I've definitely, talked to more people than I would have beforehand and became closer with a lot of guys. So it's cool.
Coach, let's talk about, so this is always interesting to me too. I just, as a football fan, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, but it's an extra level when you sense that the culture is right? They talk about the culture. So talk about it here at the University of New Haven. What's the culture you're looking to build?
So culture for us, we have an acronym that we go by, which is FAST. Everything we do is FAST. And that stands for family always stays together, right? So everything we do, we're going to play fast, we're going to score fast, we're going to get off the field fast on third down. We're going to do everything that we do together, and that goes into our, core values of our program and the foundation that we build, right? If you don't have a foundation, your house will fall. So we have 5 core values that we stand by. Number 1 is honesty. Number 2 is treat people with respect. Number 3 is don't do anything to hurt yourself, your family, or the program. Number 4 is compete in life. And number 5 is find a way. So every single thing that we do is predicated based off of our core values, and then that fast mantra that we're able to really build off of and be able to have each other's backs.
How does that play into maybe season goals this year? Because this is a different season. You're in the NEC, but not quite yet.
Yeah.
So you're not playing for a league title. There's no postseason berth on the line, like at the Division II level, 4 straight years of a postseason. So what are your goals? Like, what are you guys playing for?
Setting the standard for the future. That's what I'm talking about with our team a lot, and talking with our captains like Matt. We wanted to set the standard of what Division I football is going to be here going forward, and being able to play for history. There's a lot of firsts, right? We were able to get our first Division I win against Albany, right? So now it's building off of that, doing all of those things to where we can continue to build the program. And we look at we have different things. We have study hall, we have class check, we have a lot of new things that come with the Division I level, and making sure that we're doing everything to the standard.
And Matt, I'd like to talk about the fact that you're named captain. Coach just referred to that. So that's got to be such an honor.
Yes,
tell us about your memories of when that happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was, I guess the first thing I kind of think back to was the talks I was having with Coach Powell, definitely making his life a little bit harder during the chaos of when this transition all happened. But, I told him, hey, my goals is to come back and be a captain and step up as a leader in this transition. And so kind of when that happened, I was extremely grateful and just thankful to all my teammates who voted for me, I guess, is the number one thing that I've started to feel. Because, at the end of the day, I think the respect to your teammates is the most important thing in college sports. I think that's, the game is cool, but I think the people you meet and the connections you make is way more important. So it was definitely a great moment for me.
Fantastic.
Coach, tell us about Cookie 39.
So it's our family cookie shop. So my father, my best friend from high school, and my wife, they run Cookie 39. It's down on Broadway, right on Yale's campus. So we got approached by it. It was a family joke, honestly, a couple years ago. And my wife had done a lot. She sacrificed a lot within her career for me to chase mine. And so we opened it up. It's a family cookie shop. It's my mom's recipes and my wife's recipes. And my mom is a big believer in angels on earth, so we put an angel mural on the wall for her. So that's the first spot. And then we opened up at the old Sunday house in Milford. We have a cookie truck there, Cookie 39 cookie truck there as well. So being able to get everything that you need from coffee, cookies, ice cream. So whether or not you're in New Haven or Milford, stop by.
J-Dub.
Yeah. We were
looking around.
Yeah. It would have been nice, maybe,
Smelling.
if you came with some gifts.
Yeah,
like
It's not a good idea.
It's not a good
Once you have
Bruce
one, you're not
doesn't see
stopping.
any
You're
cookies.
not stopping.
Yeah. My wife makes cookies for a position group every week. So the boys have gotten their fair share of the cookies.
How many pounds have you put on eating the cookies, man?
Don't want to disclose that.
Coach Foggy's not going to be happy about this.
Oh, man. Now I'm going to think about cookies all afternoon.
We were joking about this with our last episode, right? Tom Hannum brings us a pair of autographed drumsticks.
That's right.
And we're like, hey, we've been doing this show for 4 years. Nobody brings us anything.
Correct.
Would have been nice.
Well,
Let me
note
tell
it
you
for the next time
something.
I'm on. I'll make sure we bring some cookies
Back
for
in
you
the
guys.
Smith and Barber days, people knew to come bearing gifts.
Noted.
As a matter of fact, fun fact, my son, I have this posted in my office over at the radio station. My son, when he was in first grade, Turkey Hill School, they tell him to write down, what do you want to do when you grow up? He wrote, when I grow up, I want to talk on the radio because it's not a lot of work. And if you mention people on the air, you get free stuff. And fortunately, he followed Mom's footsteps. He's a doctor.
Very good for him.
Last question. We'll start with you, Coach, and I want to get, Matt, your input as well. So you talk to recruits all the time. You know how to give a recruiting pitch. What's your recruiting pitch for potential football players who are watching this and their families? Why should they come play football here at the University of New Haven?
You're going to become a complete student athlete and the best version of yourself, right? New Haven is an unbelievable area. It's a great education. You're going to be, obviously pushed academically. You're going to be, fit in socially because New Haven is a melting pot of Connecticut. And then you're going to continue to grow as a person in the day-to-day life and become the best version of yourself. So,
Matt?
I just think the experiences that you gain and like the people that you meet. I mean, we have people from different countries all over everywhere across the United States. So I think just that diversity is almost super fun to be a part of, and just to be talking to different guys and people you'd never expected to be friends with, and they're your closest buds. So that would be my pitch.
And now you get to play Division I football.
Yeah.
So.
Boom.
Yep.
Our work here is done.
It is. Family always stays together, right?
That's right.
All right, very good. That'll wrap up this edition of Charger 360, telling the stories of the University of New Haven. Thanks Coach Mark Powell and Matt Chandler. If you'd like to be on the show, it's pretty simple. All you got to do is email Bruce or myself. If you come bearing gifts, you're definitely getting on the show.
Bring cookies.
Yes. bbarber@newhaven.edu, jstewart@newhaven.edu. And if you'd like to watch any of our previous shows, just go on to the homepage, newhaven.edu/news/Charger360, or just do an internet search for Charger 360, and Bruce and I will pop up just like that. All right. Thanks for watching Charger 360, telling the stories of the University of New Haven. For Matt, for Coach, for Bruce, I'm J-Dub. We'll see you next time.